Welcome to the next episode of the CyberShift podcast.
Glad to be here.
Today, let's talk about something really crucial for your business, especially if you're using Microsoft 365.
Data backup.
Exactly. Data backup. It's easy to assume, that moving to the cloud automatically means all your data is safe and sound, completely backed up by Microsoft.
Yeah, that's a common assumption we see a lot.
But that's not quite the whole story, is it? And understanding the difference, well, it can save you a lot of potential grief down the line.
Definitely.
So our goal today is pretty straightforward. Clarify exactly what Microsoft does protect, what it doesn't, and why this distinction is absolutely vital for your business's resilience, its ability to bounce back.
It's a misconception we encounter frequently. And honestly, it's understandable why people think that.
Right. Cloud platforms offer incredible reliability for their infrastructure.
They do. But the protection of your specific data, the stuff you create and store within that infrastructure, well, that operates under a different model entirely.
Precisely. And that brings us right to the shared responsibility model in Microsoft 365.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Microsoft, they ensure the platform is running, the lights are on, the servers are humming along nicely.
They manage the uptime, the infrastructure reliability.
Yes. But the data you actually create and use, your emails, your files in SharePoint and OneDrive, those Teams chats,
All that critical business information.
that's still your responsibility to truly protect.
What's fascinating here, I think, is the nuance. Microsoft's focus is really on the availability and the resilience of their services.
Making sure you can access things.
Exactly. Your focus, though, needs to be on the recoverability and the integrity of your data living within those services.
And those aren't the same thing at all.
Not at all.
And that's where the limitations of Microsoft 365's built-in data retention become really, really relevant.
Right. Let's talk about those defaults.
Okay, so by default, deleted emails, they're kept for about 30 days. And files you delete from OneDrive and SharePoint, they sit in the recycle bins for 93 days.
Okay, so some level of protection there.
Some level, yes. And that might cover you for, an accidental, oops, I deleted that moment in the short term.
Sure, quick recovery for recent mistakes.
But think about what happens if data gets overwritten or corrupted by something nasty like ransomware that maybe sits undetected for weeks.
Or even months sometimes.
Or just deleted, plain and simple, beyond those 30 or 93-day timeframes.
Yeah, what then?
Well, then Microsoft's native tools like the recycle bin, they likely won't be able to help you recover it. The data could just be gone.
And it's important to understand why those retention periods exist, right? They aren't really meant as a full backup.
What are they for then?
They're primarily designed for, let's say, operational efficiency and handling those very basic short-term recovery scenarios.
Okay.
They aren't intended to be a comprehensive, long-term data backup strategy that covers every possible data loss event.
Like needing data from 6 months ago for compliance.
Exactly. Imagine that scenario. Or needing to restore a clean version before a ransomware attack hit. Those default policies just won't cut it.
To really bring this home, maybe I can share a real-world example we encountered.
Yeah, practical examples are always powerful. They really highlight the business impact.
So we had a client, a consulting firm. They relied heavily on OneDrive, stored everything there, critical client records, detailed meeting notes, signed contracts, you name it.
Their core business data.
Absolutely. Then one day, a seemingly minor glitch occurred, a synchronization issue within OneDrive.
Uh-oh. Sync issues can be tricky.
They really can. This one resulted in numerous critical files being overwritten with older, sometimes even blank versions.
Ouch. So the current correct versions were just overwritten.
Just overwritten. The team realized the mistake almost immediately, which was good.
Okay.
But the overwritten files were now the current version. So they checked the OneDrive recycle bin naturally.
But nothing was technically deleted, right? Just changed.
Exactly. Because the original content wasn't deleted, just overwritten, it wasn't in the recycle bin. Their immediate assumption was, it's okay, it's in the cloud, it must be backed up somewhere.
The common misconception again.
Right. They quickly discovered that Microsoft didn't have a point-in-time snapshot of those specific files they could just roll back to.
No way to recover the previous correct state from Microsoft's side.
None. The result. Significant rework, frantic attempts to piece information back together, calling clients. It was stressful.
I can only imagine. Major disruption.
It really underscores that gap, doesn't it? The gap between what people assume is protected versus what Microsoft's native tools actually cover.
That scenario perfectly illustrates it. And it raises that critical question for everyone listening. What's your recovery plan?
Right. What happens when the unexpected occurs and it falls outside those limited default settings?
Relying only on Microsoft's native features is, well, it's essentially crossing your fingers and hoping nothing serious goes wrong beyond those specific recovery windows.
Yeah.
It's a gamble.
So, okay, let's pivot to solutions. What concrete steps can you, the listener, take to truly secure your Microsoft 365 data?
Good. Let's get practical.
Drawing on our work here at CyberShift Technologies, we generally recommend 4 key things. First up,
You absolutely need a dedicated third-party cloud-to-cloud backup solution.
explain what that means, cloud to cloud.
Sure. It means a service that connects directly to your Microsoft 365 environment and backs up your data to a separate cloud location, away from Microsoft's infrastructure.
Okay, so it's independent.
Completely independent. These services typically perform daily backups, emails, OneDrive, Teams data, SharePoint sites, the whole lot.
And the crucial part,
They allow for point-in-time restores,
did you mean?
which means you can literally go back to a specific moment in time, say yesterday afternoon before that file got corrupted, and restore your data exactly as it was then.
That sounds incredibly valuable, especially after hearing that story.
It is. Think of it as having a robust safety net. If something happens within your main Microsoft 365 environment, could be accidental deletion, corruption, even a malicious attack like ransomware.
This separate backup lets you recover.
Precisely. You can restore your data without having to rely solely on Microsoft's operational recovery tools, which, as we've discussed, have limitations.
Okay, so recommendation 1, implement a third-party backup solution with point-in-time restore. What's next?
Secondly, it's vital, really vital, to have a clear understanding of exactly what data within your Microsoft 365 setup is being backed up by that solution.
And just as importantly, what isn't?
Exactly. You need specifics. Understand the retention policies for things like Teams chats, which can be complex. Know the versioning capabilities within OneDrive and SharePoint and how they interact with backups. Check your organization's specific retention settings, too.
So visibility is key. Don't just assume the backup tool covers everything perfectly by default.
You got it. Many businesses lack this fundamental visibility. Understanding these nuances lets you make informed decisions about your data protection strategy. Don't operate on assumptions.
Right. For example, people might assume all Teams data is fully backed up, but the reality can depend heavily on the type of data chats versus files versus wikis and your specific configuration.
Good point. You need to verify.
Okay, third recommendation.
Employee training. This plays a huge role in your overall cloud data safety posture.
How so?
Well, educating your team about the risks, things like accidental deletions, the dangers of sync errors, like in that story, and crucially, how to spot phishing attacks.
That can lead to earlier detection.
Yes, earlier detection and reporting of issues can prevent minor problems from escalating into permanent data loss. Your people are often the first line of defense.
Makes sense. Empowering employees.
Absolutely. Human error is a significant factor in data loss incidents. Making them aware, encouraging them to report suspicious activity promptly, it strengthens your defenses significantly.
Okay, good one. And the final recommendation, number 4.
Finally, you need to adopt a proactive approach to managing your cloud backup. It's not set and forget.
What does proactive look like here?
It means things like daily monitoring of your backup jobs. Are they actually running successfully? Are there errors you need to address?
Checking the logs, basically.
Yes. And just as critical, regularly testing your restore processes.
Actually trying to restore some data.
Exactly. Confirm that your backups are viable, that you can actually recover data when you need it most. A backup that you can't successfully restore is, well, it's essentially useless, isn't it?
Provides a false sense of security.
Totally. The ability to quickly and reliably recover data is the ultimate measure of whether your backup strategy is working. Regular testing isn't just a nice to have. It's essential to validate your capabilities and find weaknesses before a real crisis hits.
Okay, that's 4 really solid recommendations. Third-party backup, understand what's covered, train employees, and proactively manage and test.
That sums it up well.
So here's the critical question we want to leave you, the listener, with. Are you truly confident that your Microsoft 365 data is secure?
Or are you perhaps operating under some potentially risky assumptions, like the consulting firm we talked about?
If you have any doubts about your current cloud backup setup, or maybe you realize you aren't using a dedicated third-party solution at all,
We really urge you to take action. Don't wait for a data loss event to find out you weren't prepared.
absolutely. At CyberShift Technologies, we actually offer a cloud backup health check service. It's designed to give you a clear picture of your current situation, identify gaps, and provide actionable insights.
It helps you understand your posture and what steps to take next.
You can learn more about that by visiting our website, cybershift.com, or just email us directly at info@cybershift.com.
We're here to help provide that clarity.
Because protecting your data isn't just some technical chore, is it? It's fundamental to your business's continuity, its reputation.
And ultimately, your peace of mind. It's really about taking control of your data's destiny in the cloud.
Well said.
Understanding that shared responsibility model, and then implementing robust, tested backup solutions. That's a vital step in building true cyber resilience for your organization in today's world.
Thank you for listening to the CyberShift podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to stay up to date on all things CyberShift Technologies, make sure to subscribe to our podcast and join the newsletter on cybershift.com. Have a great